Hi Pisces, welcome to Ashwina's Tarot. I went ahead and pre-shuffled and laid out the spread. The general energy for the reading coming in is the Star. So this is actually not the first time we get this card in the same position. Although last time we had it in the reverse and this time is in the upright. So something is moving in the right direction. I don't know what you did. I don't know what you've worked into the energy here, but the Star is in the upright now. And so I'm getting a lot from this card. I'm getting like this is energy that you're walking into. And then also 1 + 7 is 8. That's the infinity sign. This is also whatever you invest coming back to you. So if you've invested in the Star, if you've invested in this dream, whatever you've put forth to this is coming back to you at this time. And this feels like the energy that you're starting to walk into. It is the Star energy. And so there's one thing that I want to read out of the book for the Star. Again, this card came out in the reverse. What was it? Was it yesterday or 2 days ago when I did the reading? I think it was yesterday, and it was in the reverse. So whatever you did, I don't know what you did in the energy. I don't know what kind of shift happened, but it's in the upright today, and it's actually in the same position as last time. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it. You're doing good. You're doing a good job. You're reeling that into you, to your life. And yeah, so there's something that I want to read out of the book, but also with this card, just take notice of all the synchronicities in your life, you know, take notice of all the angel numbers, all the numerology, all the sacred symbology, everything that comes in at this point. Just take it as a sign, because it's going to help build into this energy. It's going to help propel your transformation and your manifestation most of all. Because again, either she's reeling the Star into her, or she's letting the Star uplift her to the next level. So yeah, so there's one thing that I want to read out of the book here. So expectations fulfilled, wishes granted, opportunities, healing after traumatic events, knowing you're on the right path, inspiration, renewed hope. So knowing you're on the right path, that's why I said take notice of synchronicities, numerology, angel number, sacred symbology. You know, start taking account of these little things that are there to kind of reaffirm you and reassure you that you're on the right path at this time. Again, whatever you did something right, because this was in the reverse yesterday. Today is in the upright in the same position. And again, I pre-shuffled the whole thing. And yeah, so you did something right. I don't know exactly like what you did, but yeah, something right. So sink into the dreamlike inspiration of the Star. She sends a message of divine timing and renewed hope. So divine timing is huge for this, because a lot of people are like, you know, how come it didn't work in the past? Or, you know, how come it didn't turn out this way? Or I tried this before, what's different now? What's changed? Divine timing, okay? That's one of the biggest lessons, you know. I've done a couple coachings, I've done a couple readings, and some people are like, you know, I get it, like it happened, and things are starting to change, but I don't understand why that had to happen, you know? I don't understand why it happened this way. I don't understand why I had to go through that. I don't understand why things didn't work out. Divine timing, okay? Divine timing. I know a lot of people don't like to hear this because we don't control divine timing. And that's the sucky part about divine timing, is that we don't control it, okay? We don't say it was supposed to be last year, you know? Like what the heck happened? You know, I was waiting there. I waited for my ships. And for some reason, the opportunity didn't manifest the way that I intended, or the way that I imagined. So yeah, a lot of people don't like that. But divine timing is always at play, okay? And it's actually for the best. And you'll only understand looking back, okay? You can only connect the dots looking back. So yeah, it's so much about the bigger picture. Again, sometimes what we want for ourselves is playing it small. Sometimes universe has something even greater for us. And again, when things aren't going our way, when things aren't turning our way, that's the last thing we want to hear. But the good news is divine timing is here. Okay, so I don't know who you are or what you did. The Star's back in the upright. So you did something right and things are aligning. The stars are aligning for you. Divine timing is here for you. And so yeah, so let me see. What exactly? There's one message that aligned that I wanted to read into, but I'll read this because some of this will activate some of you out there who resonate with this energy, who resonate with this reading. So she sends a message of divine timing and renewed hope. And renewed hope, right? So if it didn't work in the past, and you know, there's a lot of people that get a little bit like unsettled by that, like, you know, they kind of lose hope and they don't understand why things didn't work out. And so yeah, it's about renewing your hope, because at the end of the day, you want to win, right? Do you want to be right, or do you want to win? Does that make sense? It's like, okay, I did everything right. I tried in the past. Why should I try again? Why should I trust? Okay, do you want to be right? Do you want to be proven right that it is just not for you, or do you want to win? Does that make sense? Divine timing sometimes doesn't align when we want it to, because sometimes the things that are coming in for us are greater than what we could have ever imagined. And so if these things come in premature, you know, it won't be what we expected, or it won't feel like we would want it to feel. You know, sometimes we attain the victory, sometimes we attain what we wanted, and it can feel a little bit empty. It's like, wow, I persevered and I held strong, and finally I got the thing that I wanted, and I'm feeling a little empty inside. And it feels like, just like, you know, even like a loss of hope, because that kind of gave you purpose for a while. But sometimes to reel in the star, sometimes the universe has an even greater gift planned for us, and they test our patience, they test our faith. And so divine timing plays a part, and it's a huge thing. But the thing is, like, this collective that I've been connecting to is, a lot of them are on the same timeline. So if it didn't work in the past, it's coming in, you know, and divine timing is finally here, and the stars are aligning. So yeah, renewed sense of hope, you know, because at the end of the day, do you want to be right? Do you want to be proven right, or do you want to win? You know, and so that's a big thing. Because for me, when I didn't have certain things that I wanted, I'm like, okay, I did this right, I did this right, I did this, I aligned this, I took the action, I journaled, I visualized, I went out for it, you know, and what happened, you know, like, I came back empty-handed when I invested all this, you know. So at that time, I could have been like, you know what, universe, I want to be proven right, it's just not for me, or I'm just not worthy of it, or you know what, maybe it's not even what I want. Like, you know, it's like, did I want to be right, or did I want to win at the end of the day? Did I want my manifestation at the end of the day? So it's just a lot of, like, kind of coming back to your faith, coming back to your hope, you know, knowing that you and the divine are on the same team. Okay, sometimes we can feel like the world is against us, and it's like us against the world, but no, it's like, understand that the divine, your angels, your guides, they're all on your team. Okay, they play on your corner, they play for you, right? And so yeah, so it's just a matter of understanding that divine timing is at play, but it is always for the best. Okay, and the suckiest part about divine timing is that we can't control it. So we can't say, hey, it should have been last year, you know, I should have come already, you know. We can't do that with divine timing. We have to trust, and that's what makes the victories sweeter. And so yeah, a lot of people don't like to hear that, but it is the reality of it. You know, for a lot of people that are putting in the work, and it's like, you know, I just want my manifestation, you know. It is divine timing, and divine timing is finally here. Stars are aligning. So she guides you to reach for that steering serendipity and faith. Your future is increasingly bright, and you are blessed by the universe. Your core purpose is beginning to bubble up to the surface of your reality, and your path is intrinsically tied to your biggest missions and brightest opportunities of expansion. Step onto a path of fulfillment and happiness with starlight to guide you. Allow your innate essence to shine through any residual darkness right now. Uncover any limiting beliefs or self-doubt that are holding on to you. Find the courage to voice any unexpressed emotions, and release every bit of outgrown energy that is anchoring you to the past. It is time to release and ascend. As you let go, you will focus on the future, and you will find your biggest source of inspiration and love. The stars are aligning in your favor, and it is time to trust them. I expect miracles. Right? So it's like, hold on to the positivity, no matter what. Stars are finally aligning for you. You're either going to reel this in, or you're either going to let it lift you and ascend you into the next level, because it's coming in. So yeah, the way that everything unfolds is very interesting. I had to pull clarifiers. So yes, I had to dive deep into some of these and the advice and the final outcome card. So this is very interesting. Hey, stop. Share. Okay? These guys think it's playtime. So yeah, so 13, death and rebirth. It's like you're coming out of a cycle of constant death and rebirth. For some of you, it wasn't just like one ego death or one awakening or one death and one rebirth. It was many of them. It was like a destruction process in a rebirth. It's like, hey, boys. Hey, sit down. Come here. Now, sit. Sit. Thank you. I think they're fighting for one of my socks. I don't know what they're doing back there. Yeah, so yeah, it was a constant death and rebirth process of like, hey, I found myself. I think I know what I want to do. I think what my purpose is, everything's aligning. It's all making sense, and then dying again. It's like going through that ego death, going through the dark night of the soul, starting to do more healing work. It's like, I just came out of the healing work. What is it? Why is it that I have to do it again? So what it's showing me is a long cycle of death and rebirths. Not just one death, not just one rebirth, but many. All right. So I don't know who this is or what energy I'm tapping into, but it feels like somebody that like gets exhausted of like, dude, I thought I just found what I needed. I thought I just found what my purpose was, what I was about to do. It's like you were having a brand new start, but all of a sudden it was like being taken away again. It's like, dang, like I found myself. I know what I want to do. And you start taking the first steps and it's like false start, psych, death and rebirth again. Going through the shadow work, going through the lessons, digging deep into your core, into your essence, breaking you in so many different like places. It's like, it's literally like building the spiritual muscles, because what makes you ripped at the gym, you know? What you're doing at the gym every single day with every rep is you're destroying the muscle in so many different places. You're destroying it, and it's growing stronger. So the same thing with the spiritual awakening. Some people only have one awakening in their life, okay? But the people who are on this path of ascension, it's like, they kind of take like a fast track and it speeds up, especially because ascension is being felt so strongly by this collective. It's like you get lifetimes of progress and lifetimes of lessons cramped into like a couple months, into a year, you know? So it's like you might be coming out of this cycle in your life that was like constant death and rebirth. It's like, I found myself, oh my God, I'm losing myself. What's going on? I thought we were starting again. I thought we got it right this time. Everything had aligned. What happened, you know? And it's like that led you to so many different kinds of transitions within your energy, within your emotions, within your life. Could have been within your work, within, you know, like even moving physically, like many transitions. I know a lot of people that I've read for have moved like so many times within like the last 2 years, like life-changing kinds of moves, where they've literally moved across country, or they moved to other countries, or they moved from one state to another. Like there's been a big migration, like physically, but also emotionally, mentally, spiritually. So yes, this feels like the process kind of like sped up for you. Like you started to like fast track through your spiritual awakening. So it's like you went through lifetimes of work and lessons cramped into a couple months, cramped into a year or two. And so yeah, it's like you're finally arriving at new land and you're starting to see new offers coming in. You know, it's like you had to transition from this land. If you see here, it's like the Four of Pentacles. It's like everything's dry. The opportunities dried out, the money dried out, the energy, the resources started to dry out. And it's like it started to make you go within and cling onto what you have. It's like, oh my God, the opportunities are drying out. Maybe the work, I don't know. For some of you, it might have been work. For some of you, it might have been opportunities, resources, just the land being dry. Maybe even living in a desert, like physically, like literally, I don't know. And so yes, this drying out of opportunities, this Four of Pentacles, led you into this transition of going to new lands, whether like spiritually, emotionally, mentally, or physically as well. So yeah, a lot of people have been migrating, to be honest. So I don't know what that's about, but it feels like, again, on a spiritual level, like the land started to dry out, the opportunities, everything. It's like it kind of like cornered you or backed you into a corner to where you kind of had to make these shifts, to where there was no other option but to change, but to transform, but to shift. You know, it's kind of like they forced you into this transition, or you might have taken the first steps, but it's kind of like things around you started to die out or dry out in a sense. And it's like the energy started to constrict, like a lot of like instability, or maybe like what's going to happen in the future, or, you know, like the land is dry. Like, this is my home, where I built my home here, like whether it's a spiritual home, mental, emotional, or actually like physically, and having to move from there. And so yeah, what I see here is an intense amount of spiritual lessons cramped into a couple months, into a couple years, lifetimes of spiritual work and initiations and activations cramped into so many deaths and rebirths. For some of you, maybe even like 4 of them. For some of you, even like 13. You know, there's some people that go through one death and rebirth in their life, like one awakening, but there's people that go through many. The people that are on this like ascension timeline, they go through many. It's like they choose to fast track, or their soul chose to fast track, and all of a sudden things speed up. It's like you're living lifetimes in a matter of like weeks and months and years, if that makes sense. Again, not many of you are going to resonate with this reading, but for the ones that do, I feel this energy. I feel it, and I've actually seen it in a lot of the people that I've connected with on this ascension timeline. It's like they had one awakening before or two awakenings in their lifetime, and all of a sudden, boom, it sped up and they started fast tracking through this, and like all these lessons and lifetimes of work getting cramped up into months, you know, intense initiations, intense activations. You know how some people have like an ego death? It's like these people had so many ego deaths. Not one, not two, but like so many. One after the other. I found myself, oh my God, what's happening? I'm dying out. Who am I? What is this even about? You know, is this even like real? Like, and then just finding yourself again, and like, yeah, it's like building a muscle. You're literally destroying it with every single rep. And what do? You put more pressure. You add more weight. You do more reps. You spend more time at the gym. And the muscle grows bigger and bigger. So yeah, the lessons intensify. And so what I see here is the hangman. So it's also number 12. So getting the enlightenment of what it is that you had to go through, because some people don't understand why it had to happen this way. Some people still didn't even get a closure of like, why didn't it work out in the past? You know, if everything had aligned, if everything was right, like why didn't it actually work out? You know, and it's like finally getting to see it from another perspective and getting closure on that so that you can move on. Because here it's like fogginess. It's like, okay, is it left? Is it right? Is it up? Is it down? It's like, I don't even know if it's up or down. I don't even know. I can't even tell left from right because of how much everything has shifted, how fast everything shifted. It's like, dang, I'm still like flying up in the air. Like the rug was pulled from underneath my feet. I don't even know right from wrong, left from right, up from down. That's that energy of the Seven of Cups. And I don't know why this card has been coming out so consistently in the reverse in almost every reading. So I don't know what that means, honestly. But yeah, it's just like that fogginess of like look at all those cups. Look at all those life paths. All those different turns, all those different angles, all those different perspectives, all the fog, all the ladders, all the snakes, all the bats. It's intense. It's a lot. And so that kind of energy puts you in the hangman of like, you know what? I need to like pause for a second. I need to see the full picture here before I make a decision, because I don't want to stay in this energy. And so you did that. It's like the hangman, and this is something another reader said, and I thought that was genius. But the hangman goes in the reverse, right? To get a full perspective. But then when it comes back into the reverse, it's like the full 360. So first it's like upright, right? And so then it goes in the reverse. So that's the 180. And then it goes back into the like upright. So it's like upright, reverse, upright. So it's like the full like 360, if that makes sense. So they gained a full perspective on the whole thing. So they don't even have like, you know, like 180 is like, okay, like they did a full 180, right? Now this is a full 360. You have 20/20 vision, you see the whole thing for what it is, and now you're finally able to move on from that energy. So it's like coming together with this side of you. It's like igniting your passion, because now you're finally kind of like getting a moment to acknowledge your transformation, getting a moment to acknowledge the transition that you went through. Because it wasn't easy. It's just like, I found it, I know what it is, I'm transforming, I mutated, I got a new start. Wait a second, why is it all ending again? Why is it all being taken away again? Why is it all like, why am I going through this death and rebirth? Why am I going through another dark night of the soul? Why am I having to heal this again? It's like that process of like, dang, I thought I had it. What the heck happened, you know? And it's like, you did, but you're just going through levels of depth. But it intensifies. Like for whoever I'm reading here, it's like you had some kind of fast track where you did like lifetimes of work, and all these lessons were just cramped up in a couple months, in a year or two. So yeah, it's like finally like catching your breath, coming together, all right, getting all your ducks in a row, taking inventory, and starting to come back into this fiery energy. Because in this energy of like constantly dying and being born again, it's like you can even lose your sense of confidence. It's like, wow, I don't even know anything anymore. I thought I had it. I thought I knew the laws of the universe. I thought I knew how it all worked. I knew how this cycle usually goes. You know, you die, you rebirth, and then you get to live your new life as a new person. So why the heck is it being taken away again? Why am I having to die again? Why am I having to do this work? It's like you kind of like lost a sense of self in that process. And again, it is an ego death. So that's 100% part of what happens in that process. But when it happens this often and this consistently with all these transitions, it's like, whoa, I don't even know up from down. I don't even know left from right. It's that period of like, yeah, it's like things are a little bit shaky, you know? And so here what I see is like you're finally like recalibrating. It's like you're finally getting it together. It's like you're breathing into the experience. It's like you finally have this moment to kind of like come back together within yourself, within your environment, the things aligning back into your life, and starting to feel a sense of confidence, starting to feel like you've got it again, like, you know, like you're starting to understand, like you're starting to get a grip on your life and on where things are going. It's like you're finally, it's like after so many transitions, it's like you finally arrived and you can kind of like feel your way into it. Because at some point in this moment, it's just like, I don't even know. It's like, dude, I thought I knew, I thought I had it. I've learned these lessons before, you know, I've gone through an awakening before. This is not new for me, but I don't even know anymore. I don't know what to tell you, because it's like I get rebirth and then I die again, to get rebirthed again, to die again, all in a very fast paced way. So it's like, I don't even know anymore. And so here it's just like, okay, I'm landing, I'm arriving, I'm catching my breath, I'm regrouping, I'm recalibrating, I'm taking inventory, okay, everything's good, you know. It's like, it's just like the stars, and as you can see here, is like in both of these cards, the stars are aligning finally. Like divine timing has finally taken course in your life. And so it's like you can start feeling confident about the things that you have going on. It's like you're starting to call in your confidence. You're starting to feel fiery again. It's like, okay, I feel like I got it. I feel like I'm good within myself, you know. I'm gonna set up shop, you know. I'm gonna start building from here, you know. I got myself back. I think I'm good from here on out. And the King of Wands is also very entrepreneurial. So if you were trying to create, or I don't know, like maybe a business or some kind of like, I don't know, invest into something in this land, it wouldn't have worked out. So it kind of like made you lose like a sense of confidence or a sense of self, because in the past you might have like been really good at what you did, like maybe your job or your investments, or you might have had it like good in the past. But all of a sudden things dried out. You started going through this spiritual awakening, these initiations, all this stuff that like left you like, I don't even know, up from right, left from right, like I don't know, up from down, or you know, like it's just like everything gets shaken so intensely that it's like, wow, I don't know anything anymore. And so in this land, this might have not worked out, but in this new land that you're in, it's like you finally are getting your confidence back. You're finally starting to feel yourself. You're starting to find your new style. You're starting to find your new angle. You're starting to find out what works out for you. And it's also a very entrepreneurial card. So now that you have arrived at new land, as you can see here, this is fire, but it's also a crown of fire. It's like you're claiming this land, you're claiming this place, and you're setting up shop. Like, this is where I'm gonna make it work. Does that make sense? So yes, there's actually one thing that I do want to read from the King of Wands. It is a very entrepreneurial card. So for whoever is resonating with this reading, it's like you're finally ready to set up shop, something entrepreneurial, a new business, a new project, a new venture. But it's feeling fiery. It's like you're finally getting your courage and your confidence back. It's like you might have had it in the past, but it's like so many spiritual awakenings and death and rebirth process and ego deaths that's like, I don't know anymore. And then finally here, you're regrouping, you're arriving, you're landing, and you're finding yourself again. And you're starting to feel the confidence start to slip back into your life. And so, yes, entrepreneurial, spiritual, a natural born leader, ideas that can be ultra successful, a creative visionary, timelessness, success, fire. Passionate, heart-fueled, we build this empire of light together. This fiery guy, he's charismatic, natural-born leader whose vitality emanates through his laughter, his obsession with a life well-lived. As you dance into this energy, you may feel a surge of entrepreneurial passion that pushes you to the edges of your epic success. The card of masterpieces, a soul inspiration. The King of Wands calls you to unleash that offbeat weirdo that you've got inside, and be absolutely unapologetic in your pursuit of the stellar. Ground your vision through the wildly novel expression of your big ideas. And if you find yourself getting tripped up by the minute of every day, recruit help and map out the bigger picture. Holler passionately, invite others to see what you see. The shadow side of this energy is that you may not perceive your own blind spots because of an overzealous ambition. Keep arrogance and unrealistic expectations at bay and work out the kinks before charging ahead with your intensely vibrant heart. So I feel like you're getting your fire back. You're starting to feel yourself, okay? You've been in a really long journey, 9 of Wands, wounded warrior, okay? We also got this card in the last reading. So it's like you're like setting shop. You've arrived at this new land and you're setting shop. And it's like that wand. It's like they're both holding that wand, as you can see. It's like they're claiming this land. They're claiming the success for themselves. It's like they finally arrived and they're claiming the land. And so what I clarified the 9 of Wands with is the Devil, the 2 Pentacles, in the Empress in the reverse. So what I'm getting here is a little bit of past energy. We also got this card in the last reading. And again, I swear I shuffled everything. I just feel like there's some energies that need to be addressed, and that kind of, it's a continuation of the energy. So the way that this plays out is like there's some kind of like pulling back from like the past and the future. So the devil might be like the negative voices of like, hey, you remember how many times it didn't work out in the past? Remember how many times we tried? What makes it different now? You know? And it's like this undecisiveness that's like, okay, shit, you know, like I do have these past experiences to account for that didn't work out. You know what? I do have that experience in the past. Like I did this, and it just didn't work out. But the thing that you haven't taken into account, 26 on the clock, if you're into numerology, the thing that you have to account is that divine timing is finally here for you. The stars are finally aligning for you. So again, if this voice comes in saying, you know what, it didn't work out in the past, what makes it different this time? Don't listen to it, because what it's doing is it's trying to take away this abundance that is coming in for you. Again, this thing's been cooking in the oven for more than 9 months for some of you, okay? It's finally here for you, so don't let these voices slip in. Okay, because the thing that wasn't there in the past, if you did everything right, but the thing that wasn't on your side in the past was divine timing, but it's here for you now. Okay, so if these voices try and come in and slip in some comments, let them know, you know, like you have no place in this situation, because I'm claiming this. All right, I've already established this wand here. This is my land. This is my opportunity. Again, don't get super like carried away by that energy. Still like be strategic, clear-minded, connect to your intuition in that process. But you claim this land, okay? You claim this land, and you let these voices know. You let these experiences, maybe this is your past self, your shadow self. Maybe this is the psyche trying to get in there, slipping these voices. Let them know. The thing that wasn't aligned in the past that now is here is divine timing. Divine timing is now on my side. And therefore, I receive my manifestations because it's been cooking in the oven, okay? It's been cooking in the oven for more than 9 months for some of you. So then we move on to the final outcome card and Spirit's advice. Final outcome card, strength and the 9 of swords. All right, okay, you have to be strong through these past memories. Again, 9 of swords is kind of like the past. It's like that anxiety of what you've lived. Okay, she's only in that position, she's only in that mental anguish because of what she's been through. It's been traumatic. Okay, it's been traumatic. It's destroyed. For some of you, it's destroyed you in so many different ways. It broke you in so many different ways that you don't even know how to piece it together. But again, what happens to a muscle in the gym every single day with every single rep? Adding more and more weight, more and more pressure. So, yeah. I think these guys are hungry. I'm going to wrap up this reading. So, 9 of swords, okay? This is past energy that you're going to have to be strong through. You're going to have to pull through this. Again, you see the lion in this card? The lion in this card is calling upon your courage. It's calling upon the fire. It's finally time. Again, what is on your side now that wasn't on your side back then? Divine timing is on your side now. So if you hear the negative voices, if you feel some of this mental anxiety of like, how am I going to pull this off? How am I going to do it? I remember in the past, like this left me in shambles. It shattered me in so many different ways. What if this happens again? It's just like that mental anguish, you know, those sleepless nights. How am I going to pull this off? It's like you're going to pull this off with your courage, right? You've already claimed this land, okay? Call upon the fire, all right? And Spirit's advice, the most important part of this reading, okay? With the fire, balance out with the intuition, with the waters, right? 7 of Wands, High Priestess, all right? This is not just the fire and the courage. This is also the intuition. Okay, the water that balances out the fire, and the fire that balances out the water. So water element and fire element, if you work with any of these elements, if you're a practitioner, I would advise doing some kind of, I don't know, like a very intentional activity. For me, like if I'm working with fire, I'll light some candles, I'll get some kind of water ritual, or charge it with the moonlight, whatever that is. But sometimes like it's an affirmation. Sometimes you visualize, sometimes you do something tangible to call in these energies. Sometimes you just understand them and that's all you need. It clicks. Okay, but Spirit's advice, Queen of Cups, 7 of Wands, High Priestess, water and fire, okay? It's balancing out your intuition, all right? The things that you already feel within you, already know. With the fire, the creation, the new passion coming in, all right? And creating this bubble around you and not allowing people's opinions, right? Not allowing people's opinions to kind of poke through. because you got something good. Divine timing is finally here for you. It's coming in, and there's a need to just be connected to your divine channel, connected to your spiritual abilities, and also passionately move ahead with courage. Okay? So this is all I have for this reading, Pisces. You got it, okay? You got it. You're already doing it. You're already doing it. Again, yesterday, this card was in the reverse. Today's in the upright. I don't know what you did, but you flipped it around. You're in the right place. The stars are finally aligning for you, okay? Divine timing is here for you. That's something that you have on your side that maybe you didn't have in the past, okay? For the ones that resonate. So yeah, you got it. There's the lion, there's the fire, there's the water, there's the intuition. You got the most intuitive cards of the deck right here. Queen of Cups, High Priestess, all right? Balanced out by the masculine fire energy, okay? Some kind of like sacred union between your divine feminine, divine masculine. But yeah, that's all I have, Pisces. Take care.